I'm pleased to say I'm one of those value-added people that Peter was also talking about. I spent many years as a countryside project manager looking after parks, the Mendip Hills, heritage estates in Bristol, but actually originally trained in graphics and design and communication before I kind of realised that actually through my youthful years I wanted to work outdoors. And then 4 years ago I joined Viper Marketing. Neil, the boss of Viper, he's got a psychology background and a very pure marketing background. He comes from Marconi and Orange and large corporate stuff. I came from completely opposite direction. So there we kind of shortened it to Viper Marketing. It is actually Viper Marketing and Communications Group. It is the combination of those. So part of what we're going to look at today is some basic principles about communication that can be applied to this theme, along with marketing for rural organisations. Primarily I deal with visitor service oriented organisations, but again these principles are applicable to any organisation, be they urban or rural. It's just that the team here, when they were looking for workshop speakers, obviously wanted someone with more of a rural background just to balance it out with the pure techie SEO stuff across the top of my line of work. And I am not a techie, I will make no apologies for that. I wish I could go into some of those workshops and learn a few things. Okay, so we've got half an hour. This is going to be caring and sharing environment. If you do need to use the loo, you don't need to ask permission, please just go. If you do want to ask any questions, again, brilliant, just ask away. By standing up here and by so-called doing a masterclass, that does not make me an expert in any of this. I suppose I could be considered a specialist because I deal with it all the time and I help other organisations do it. But if anyone, I suppose apart from Peter, could stand up and say they're an expert in this subject, I would really start to worry. It's moving so fast that I don't think anybody can be. So, we're here to look at rural marketing problems, as it says up there. We're going to look at a couple of principles about content and about customer journeys, and then we're going to look at some solutions. I haven't put as many rotations in my Prezi as Gary did, so you're not going to feel car sick or anything like that, okay? That is the day. Oh, do anyone know Prezi? Do people use Prezi? A few people nod. Prezi's a zooming presentation tool, as you can see. So death to PowerPoint and boring PowerPoint stuff, that's all linear. Ideas and innovation and so on aren't linear, although you can put a path into these. They're about expressing ideas. So Prezi is a fantastic free tool. Download it. It's absolutely brilliant. That's P-R-E-Z-I. That's my first giveaway, and they're far more interesting than PowerPoint. Without further ado, let's identify some of these rural marketing problems. Again, they are applicable to any organisation. It's just that this is my background. This is what I was asked to speak on today. Generality. This is the first one. Let me get an example. You all look the same, okay? I was speaking at the Exmoor Tourism Conference last November, and I was given this, and I thought this is just a fantastic example of how you all look the same. You all look the same. Beautiful chocolate box cover images of cottages, but you all look the same. Anybody know where that is? Very distinct vernacular architecture of a certain area. No, exactly. Nobody knows where it is. It's beautiful. Sorry? No, it's actually Lussley on Dartmoor. But that's not the point. It could be anywhere. Generality is a real issue. What is your unique selling point? Do a quick mental exercise now, and those of you with the capability to write can write this down. Think of words that you use to describe your organisation or your business, your company, to other people. So those key words in your elevator pitch. From our experience, I bet there's some of those words there, okay? We work with lots of organisations, helping them sort their strategy out, and when we get to the stage of writing down the key messages and strap lines and so on, all of this lot gets churned out. And this is applicable. I use these for my business. You all look the same. You all try and put the same messages across. There is a solution to this, because what we then do is we give them one post-it and say, write down one word on that post-it I can't find anywhere else that sums your organisation up. And we'll see what that word is at the end. So that means you can't leave. If you leave, you don't find out what the answer is. Second problem with rural marketing, It's an abstract offer a lot of the time. What is a good night's rest? What is a good walk? What is a scenic view? All that meaning is with you, with the individuals. Yeah, there's no real common understanding of that. And that's very different. If you're trying to convey something to get someone to come to you and commit time and resources, promoting something that's abstract is very difficult. It's abstract. I can't touch it. I can't hold it. I know what a hammer is. I've bought a hammer before and I've used a hammer. Okay, coming to your B&B, coming to your farm, coming to your big area of the countryside. I've never been there before. I don't know. It's abstract. So you need to create trust. And creating trust is through experience. Okay? Again, this is try before you buy stuff. It's difficult to search out the credentials of some organisations that are doing visitor services or working in rural areas. They don't have the kudos, they don't have the support networks that often happen in urban areas. So it's difficult for you to build that trust. So there's the three issues that we're going to look at today. So it's about generality, it's about this abstract offer, and it's about creating trust. Commonly, though, what we're asked is, and this is one of these principles that are applicable to all types of social media, is that people come to us and say, well, yeah, I know I should be doing social media, and we've heard some fantastic reasons why you should all be doing social media in there. So, but I haven't got any content. I don't know what to say. I sit there and I look at Facebook for half an hour. I don't know what to write. And we've come up with a very simple thing. And again, if you take nothing else away, please take this. Draw this out. Normally, if I had longer, we would draw this out and populate it through the session. Put your hand up if you like cold calling. Put your hand up if you like direct mail through your letterbox. Put your hand up if you like those telephone calls that when you pick it up, there's nobody there because it's an automated system and it only answers to the first person, whoever out of the 100 that's dialed, only goes to them. If you like some of that, fantastic. Jump straight in with this bit. Promote through Twitter, promote through Facebook, promote yourself through LinkedIn. Because that's all this is. This final third, if you just do promotion through these social media platforms, that is the equivalent of cold calling, of direct selling, direct marketing. And that's the reason we have the telephone preference service, the mail preference service, because people don't want that. They take themselves away from that. If you are going to jump into these social media platforms, and again, I would definitely say do it, just bear in mind, if you jump straight in and just sell through it, that's dull. That's not adding anything. So, before you do that, because business has taken over social media, and quite rightly so, this is a fantastic way of promoting your business. Just balance it with some pointing. Point to some free stuff, point to some interesting websites, point to some other value, add value, point to other things, give things away free, like Peter was saying, that, fantastic examples there. All this works on his website, give away free stuff. And it's called social media for a reason. Tell us about yourself. People are interested in people. What has been the most successful TV programs since TV began? What type of TV program? Reality. Based on reality, soaps. Soaps have constantly the biggest amount of viewing, the biggest amount of following, because it's about people's lives. We love people's lives. So you just have to remember that when it comes to social media. If you're just trying to sell rocks through social media, you're not going to get anywhere. If you start to add value by pointing to some great rock websites, some free rocks, some other free stuff you've seen, and then say, oh, we had a fantastic walk to go and get that, and you should try this, and you should go and do that. Oh, I've had a great day looking at all these different rocks. It all starts to make sense. If you just start to jump in there, that's dull. No one likes that. You'll quickly be unfollowed and unliked. You should know, and this gets over again that problem of, well, should I be on MySpace? Should I be on LinkedIn? Should I be doing this? Should I have an e-newsletter? Should I be tweeting? there's hundreds of platforms and there's new ones coming out all the time. Which one do we choose? Which one is the most appropriate? By now, if you are running a business or in any organization, be it public sector or private sector, you should know who your target audience is. You should know your market segmentation. And not only should you have lots of dry socioeconomic details about them, you should give them a human name, yeah, and a picture, so you know who you're talking to. And again, this is back to some basic psychology stuff. We work with a solicitor's practice up in Bristol, and we help them sort their market segmentation out. And it explains this journey very clearly. So one end of the scale we have Wayne, and one end of the scale we have Catherine. Same solicitor's practice, but they deal with very different people. And you can imagine Wayne, he lives in certain areas of Bristol, he drives a certain type of car, he's in trouble on Friday nights and Saturday nights, generally alcohol related. He doesn't give a monkey's what this solicitor's website looks like. He only cares about that little card and the police station that's got their 24-hour criminal defence hotline number on it, okay? Because that's his customer journey into this solicitor's. Catherine, down the other end, she lives outside Bristol, very well to do, probably got family problems or money problems. She wants to go into their lovely premises in Park Street in Bristol, have a nice cup of coffee and a box of tissues. Her customer journey is going to be via the website. She wants to see their website. So you can see how the John Lewis style of website is designed for Catherine, and the more primary coloured stuff is designed for Wayne. Same solicitor's practice, different customer journeys into the same practice. So you should know your customers, know what the journey is going to be through creating the awareness with them, acquiring them as a customer, so they either give you time or money, and then how do you keep hold of them, okay? And social media platforms can put into any of these. So for instance, how many of you run an e-newsletter through your business or organisation? Okay, yeah, so a few people. Where does an e-newsletter sit in our story here, in our journey? Retention. Yeah, this is, you've got the customers, you're keeping hold of them, okay? But you need to get people on that e-newsletter list to start off with. So you need to come up, so how does that happen? Is there a subscribe button on the website? But how do they find out about the website? So you track these things back upstream to where these people will first put their touch on you. And this is where, again, social media is just different tools, along with any other marketing tool. And this doesn't have to be rocket science. We generally do it with post-it notes. You write down all different communication tools and you start to filter them. What's awareness, what's acquisition, and what's retention? Because this then helps to justify, right, this is why we're doing Facebook. We're doing it as a retention tool. How do we get people to Facebook? Right, this is it. We know what we're going to put on Facebook because it's about retaining people. It's about having a conversation with people. And we know they've got there. We know they've already acquired something, already done something for us, spent money or spent time with us, so they've committed to us. So we can start to talk to them like friends. But you can't see these things in isolation. Again, I won't go on about this too much because I'm sure Gary's going to talk about something like this. What social media then also does is help to complete the journey by turning these people who are your existing customers into friends. So they advocate and they share and so on. So we'll look at some solutions. So remember the issue of generality. Tell us. And all those little words that we looked at a minute ago, and some of you may have written down, some of you may have thought of, start to drip them out. And I don't, when I'm talking about blogs, I don't mean huge 300, 400 word essays put onto a specific blog site. A tweet is a mini blog. Yeah? But updating a status on LinkedIn is a mini blog. And some fantastic examples were given earlier, again, about this kind of, people start to talk about you. A blog, and I didn't even realize I was doing this. A blog, I had a cold about a couple of months ago. It was one of those really stinky, proper man flu, proper serious colds. And I had one, dried cracked lips, and I bought one of those little travel pots of Vaseline. I mean, you've seen those tiny little things, okay? So what some clever designer has done is put, obviously, a lubricating substance then inside a vessel that has no texture to it. You know, don't you? Yeah, yeah. Inevitably, you'll get Vaseline on the outside of this smooth pot. Can you be damned to open it then? No, it just slides around. So what a stupid piece of design. Fantastic product, rubbish design. So that made me then think, well, okay, what else is there? And that turned into a blog. Without even realising it, I started to speak about Vaseline. They haven't sent me any free pots or anything like that yet. But without realising, yeah, I'd started to talk about brands because that's a common language that we share between people. Instantly, I made a connection with that lady there because she's done that. And there was a couple of other nods about how silly these Vaseline pots are and how frustrating modern life is sometimes. So I invented that via a blog, but turned it into a work-related thing, talking about what's good design, what's bad design, how you create a brief, and so on. So even through a larger blog, and this was a 300-word one, I was following that rule of thirds. I was promoting my business, yeah, absolutely. It was on the Viper site. It wasn't on any kind of personal site. So I was talking about something very personal to me. I was giving away some free stuff because I pointed to some what I consider some good design, some Apple products and things. But subtly underneath was promoting my business. Okay, I followed the rule of thirds. If I had just gone straight in with an advert on our so-called blog area, I doubt very many people, but that got loads and loads of hits, that did. And I think people shared it. People liked the emotional side of being so frustrated by it, but then reading on a bit further. If you have an abstract offer, show us. Okay, and you can read, and again, there were some fantastic facts earlier about YouTube. When you are creating your video, though, don't forget other platforms like Vimeo. Again, very simple, just as simple to upload, but it helps your search engine optimization. You know, if you're taking 10 seconds to upload it to YouTube, upload it to Vimeo as well. That's only another 10 seconds. And as technology has changed, so the ease of getting material onto YouTube has happened. You know, YouTube's only come about, and it's, because we're talking today about super fast broadband. The age of video on the internet's come about because the pipes have got physically bigger. Okay, so some rural organisations say, okay, we'd love to do that, but our broadband width isn't big enough, and so on and so on. So yeah, it probably isn't at the moment, but it's going to get bigger. So that's not an excuse. Because if you track back 5 years, yeah, it was tiny then. And that's why YouTube wasn't as big. All these pipes have got bigger, uploads are easier, technology is easier. I went out and we're trying to pitch for some work, and I spent an hour yesterday shooting a mini video, editing it, getting it ready, and putting it into a Prezi. That was it. That was a video that I had created and was online and was ready to go. And it was with a £99 flip camera that I borrowed from my daughter, although she doesn't realise it yet. But I bet people with phones have got video cameras on. For smaller rural organisations that think they haven't got the budget, that is just simply not an excuse. PowerPoints and keynotes, the same on that, they can be exported as videos. Get some lovely images of your chocolate box cottage, stream together through PowerPoint, export as a video, you have a video. Suddenly you're on YouTube, which, as we've just seen, is the second largest search engine in the world. You don't have to have, if you've got massive budgets, and you can get film crews in with fantastic kit and great editing suites, brilliant. But you don't need that anymore, okay? Technology is not an excuse anymore. A couple £100, and that's more than you need. So looking ahead a little bit, if YouTube's got to this stage where, just mind-boggling amounts of informative video is online now, and yes, some people comment on them, and if social networking, as it's already been defined, is about interactions, then Zeek is one of these new ones. This allows you, again, this great word that's come about through a lot of social networking sites, this allows you to curate video. If you download the Zeek browser, okay, that allows you to create a topic, say social networking or digital media or whatever, and start to pull in little bits of video about that. So this may be 20 minutes, half an hour speech from Dr. Peter Cochrane, but you only want to get the 20 seconds that's specifically relevant to your topic. The Zeek browser allows you to edit someone else's YouTube video. Through this topic that you've created, other people can then comment but add their own edits a video, suddenly you have your own YouTube channel, TV channel, basically, about a very specific subject that's relevant to you. So again, if you're in a rural marketing situation, you can start to create videos. If you're on a beautiful cottage in the middle of Dartmoor or Exmoor or somewhere, start to create videos about that specific area, put a link to them on your website. Suddenly you have a promotional TV channel, and all you have to do is download a free browser called Zeek, which other people can then collaborate. Because if they've come and stayed, they've made home videos themselves, they've put things on YouTube, that can all be integrated. So this curation word is fantastic. And we'll look a bit more at curation in a minute. The other video bit, I tried to download this, but for some reason I can't, probably because Aston Martin didn't want me to. This is an Aston Martin promotional video. The point of it, though, is when you're watching it normally, this menu isn't here. You click on it at any point, anywhere, this slides out, and you see other promotions around it, okay? Now this is obviously promoting Aston Martin. They know very clearly who their target audience is. So there's a £5,000 watch you can buy there. There's a small helicopter you can buy there. It's lifestyle appropriate. They know who their target audience is. But the software is not expensive. Okay, they must have spent a fortune on the promotional ad, the video itself of this Aston Martin. But again, this is just software that's overlaid over an existing video. That existing video could be produced for pence. And then what pops out the side is relevant to your target audience. It might be buy the Egyptian sheets that we use, the Egyptian cotton sheets we use in our B&B. It might be here's how to order some of our fantastic organic apple juice online. Here's how to donate to the charity that we support. All these bits add value and enhance the viewer's viewing of this video because they can get a bit more from it. It gives you a chance to build your brand as well. If you want to create trust, you have to like us, okay? There's no point and there's a danger in being an island when it comes to social media, okay? It's called social for a reason. The web is called a web for a reason, okay? It's not a series of islands, it's a series of connections. And it always worries me when you see people's Twitter accounts and they're following one person and they have 20,000 followers. They probably just bought those. And where's the interaction there? Never trust someone with only following a couple of people. So the strength comes from that connected network, okay? And again, that's been the big theme of today, that open innovation. You'll take far more out if you put more in, okay? If you just sit there as an island, you're not going to get much out. But people do sit there and watch Twitter, and it's a fantastic research tool. And I will always advocate sitting watching it for a couple of weeks before you jump straight in, because you can see who your competitors and who your other friends and similar organizations and see what they're doing and either can do something completely different or align with them. So I say research is always fantastic, but get connected. Don't be an island. The like us, though, has a double meaning. And this is the scary bit about the death of the old business model and the birth of the new social business model. Like us is also like your staff. Your staffs have fantastic powers when it comes to social media. Again, as we've just heard, this new wave of graduates coming in, so on and so on, and the powers to use that. How you, if you're a business owner or a manager, how you approach your staff when it comes to that, because you have the opportunity to turn them into real advocates and champions of your organization or people who will completely undermine you. And that's a scary thing, and I don't have any great solutions for that. There's obviously for them very formal procedures around job descriptions and how you represent your organization and so on. If you are an employer, a large employer, and you want some background detail, the ACAS website, what's the word I'm thinking from? Conciliation Service, ACAS, they've got some fantastic free documents about social media guidelines for staff there, if you do want to get in to look at that. But I would say don't stick your head in the sand if you are a manager in any way. How you integrate that personal and private life with their professional life and how you are promoting, your organisation is promoted through your staff social media is tricky, and it is a brave new world. I don't have any great solutions for that, I'm afraid, but be aware of it. On a lighter note, branding creates trust, and this is something that a lot of people, I think, forget when it comes to social media. Larger organizations have fantastic brand guidelines, we're used to working with them. Obviously smaller organizations, they think their brand is just their logo and maybe a couple of colors that they consistently try and use, or a couple of fonts they try and use. Okay, I've just been told 5 minutes. So here's a great example of branding in action that I've put it under the kind of creating trust section, but it could be applicable to the abstract or the generality issue as well. This is Area 47, okay? It is just a water park in Austria, but this is Area 47, okay? The most extreme water park adventure experience you can have in Europe. It is just a water park. But through their branding, they have elevated it into something different. They have moved away from that generality of another water park, another themed park using primary colours to advertise themselves. This is now Area 47. My 13-year-old is desperate to go here. He doesn't want to go to any other water park in Europe. He wants to go to this one. Why also? Because they have Area 47 TV. He has seen himself going down some of these slides with his friends. He wants to go there. He can see himself doing it. They have curated their own video. Some of it they shot, some of it they didn't, some of it they pulled in. This is branding, I think, from a rural kind of marketing, from a visitor destination marketing point of view. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm sure there's loads of other examples, and I could go on about this for ages. The way they get you in, the way they deal with you, the things that they show you is just fantastic. It is not just a water park, it is Area 47. You don't just have a rural destination, you've got to have something different. Social media and the video and things have elevated that. And I think interestingly, from a business point of view, because they have been very clear who their target audience is, they're a business, but now they've got sponsorship. They're not a charity, they're not any other sector that would normally attract sponsorship. They're a business, but because they've been so clear who their target audience is, they have attracted sponsorship to pay for areas, pay for rides, and so on. Curation. And I'm glad Pinterest got vaguely introduced. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. For me, these kind of curation sites, as I said up there, the intangible brand elements, the bit that you can't really, you struggle to put in brand guidelines that aren't about colours, they aren't about the fonts, they're about the touchy-feely things that are really difficult to describe unless you use hundreds and hundreds of words. Social media can help you overcome some of these problems. So, has anyone come across Scoop It? Scoop It is a bit like these kind of bit.ly daily papers. So this is Neil, the other half of Viper. This is his Scoop It account. So he's created a theme on digital marketing and social networking. When he does that, he has a little scoop button at the top of his browser on his menu bar. When he comes across something interesting during his daily flights around the web, and if it's along the lines of this subject, he clicks Scoop. And it becomes the latest news story on top of here. So all these will shift down. Then he can promote that as, look at all the interesting stuff I'm reading. Following the rule of thirds, though, we also want to promote this business through it. This is actually a blog from our website that's been put in alongside it. So because Scoop It does all this branding, no, you don't have to do any of the design. It takes the title, it takes the image and the first few lines and puts it in. It puts one of our blogs on the same level playing field as some blogs from some incredibly far more visited websites than ours, Mashable and things like that. And it puts us on the same level playing field. We become thought leaders in that area because we're sat alongside other people. Pinterest is the kind of visual way of doing this. So this is my Viper Rural Pinterest page. Again, through my daily travels across the web, if I find interesting images that sum up my Viper Rural work, I pin it. Again, there's a little button I got on my menu, on my browser, click pin it, it grabs that image and shoves it on the turf on top, and then next they all slide down a bit. Again, following the rule of thirds, you can't really see. There's a picture of my legs, a little bit about me. There's somewhere I want to go and ride. There's a panel with a QR code we just designed, just sprinkled in. Okay? I'm not doing an overt sell. I'm just trying to say, look, here's some really interesting Viper Rural stuff. There's a great stainless steel map made in 3D layers there. It's just a fantastic piece of artwork. I'd love to be able to do something like that through Viper Rural. So I just pin that image and stick it in with the rest of our stuff. This is content curation. This is how to turn your brand. This is how to create trust by showing lots of clever images, some of it that's nothing to do with us, but it aligns with our brand. This is how you create trust. Very briefly, profile pictures. We talk a lot about this. If you're going to start a Twitter account or anything where you put a profile picture and you're there representing your organization, do you put the company logo up? Generally, the rule is, yeah, it's about people, social media, as we said before. Even if it's Rebecca, marketing manager, Coca-Cola, I want to see her picture. I don't want to follow Coca-Cola. I want to follow a person. I'm interested in the marketing manager. I do marketing. We might do some things I can learn. That's great. Go for a good profile picture. And research says, and you can argue this one to the cows come home, if you're a male and you're putting a profile picture up, you should not be looking to camera, okay? And you should not be smiling too much. Be happy, but not overly ecstatic. You shouldn't be smiling because you look mad, apparently. And if it's male's eyes looking to camera, that's really threatening, apparently. If it's a female, looking to camera with a nice smile. Looking away from camera is far too flirty. Okay, so I'll leave you with that thought about profile picture. This is research gained from dating sites, bizarrely, but it's the only research I could find, so I'm sure that some will be done somewhere. So, to sum up, if you have generality issues, remember that lovely chocolate box image, or whatever industry, in Somerset County Council, how do I differentiate you from Devon County Council? I have no idea. Tell us through blogs, drip, drip, drip. If you have an abstract offer, show us. Power of video, use video, and the expense is not an excuse anymore. If you want to create trust, like us, and that includes like your staff as well. Bring them in, because that creates the advocacy and sharing. And that's how you complete the customer journey. So remember, so when we're working with clients, we give them that final post-it, say, right, now write down something about your organization that I can't find anywhere else. Do you know what we generally end up with, what we tease out of people? What's the one thing? Any ideas? What would you... Sorry? Yeah, there's a shorter way of saying that. Any other suggestions? You. I can't find you anywhere else. I can only find you in that organization. This is why social media is important. Your background, your skills, your loves, your interests, your desires. That's why social media is so powerful. Okay? Because that is what begins to set your B&B apart from so-and-so's B&B. If you're a B&B with the, and I think there's a beekeeper somewhere amongst us today, if you're running a B&B and you happen to be a beekeeper that has the best honey, that sets you apart from all the others. So think about you and what you're going to do through social media. But bear in mind, these are all just signs in to your organization. Yeah? There's loads of others and they've got to be integrated with traditional media. Okay? Thank you. All right, thank you.